Greetings, Civil Air Patrol. Thank you for joining me today to talk about our flight plan for the future. As a pilot and someone who loves flying, as many of you do, I thought a flight plan would be a great way to talk about where we are headed as an organization. Having flown in the co-pilot seat for the last 4 years, I'm excited for the opportunity to work with all of you, the crew that is so vital to the success of our missions as we envision the future of Civil Air Patrol. Prior to activating our flight plan, let me spend just a moment to acknowledge the preparation that has gone into making us ready for this journey. Yesterday, General Smith talked about Civil Air Patrol's proud past. He provided an overview of nearly 80 years of accomplishments and selfless service given freely by the amazing volunteers and employees who are Civil Air Patrol. General Smith also shared some of the accomplishments CAP has made more recently under his steadfast leadership. It's been a pleasure working with him to solidify our organization's future. So many changes have been made that are tremendously positive, and we are beyond grateful for all he has done. With a crew of as many as 66,000, our organization has been strengthened in countless ways. General Smith, you have our heartfelt thanks for leading Civil Air Patrol through the COVID-19 pandemic and for focusing us on excellence and professionalism. CAP is growing again as we begin to overcome the challenges brought about by COVID-19. Finally, General Smith, we thank you for helping to build upon an outstanding, strong partnership with the U.S. Air Force. So, what's next? Civil Air Patrol is ready to take off and climb to new heights. Our flight plan will use the strong position General Smith and his team have built as a jump-off point as we look ahead to the future. Not far over the horizon on our current heading is a future that will lead us towards celebrating 100 years of dedicated service to community, state, and nation. Our future includes CAP's first multi-year strategic plan, created by stakeholders who represent the depth and breadth of Civil Air Patrol. One that is driven by measurable outcomes and that saves lives and shapes futures. Envision with me a future where we continue to earn national recognition for your work on behalf of Civil Air Patrol. Recognition like we received just recently when it was announced that Civil Air Patrol earned the 3 highest national level awards for volunteers and volunteer organizations from the International Association of Emergency Managers. The Arizona Wing earned the 2021 National Emergency Management Volunteer Organization of the Year Award. Mr. John Damaris, our Director of Operations, and Lieutenant Colonel Bob Ditch of the Arizona Wing were both honored with individual awards recognizing national leaders in emergency management. If you work and train in your operations or emergency services, I'm certain you know of the great work these gentlemen produce every day. Our volunteers and employees work together in amazing ways to benefit America's communities. Work with me now as I plot 4 waypoints for our journey into the future. Volunteer experience, service to our communities, saving lives, and shaping futures. I'm confident these waypoints will be familiar to you because these are terms that define the heart of what we do. We are volunteers who train hard to prepare ourselves to be of service to our communities, states, and the nation by shaping futures and saving lives. Let's delve into our incredible volunteers, the first waypoint on our journey. I may be biased, but I believe Civil Air Patrol has the finest volunteers of any organization. You are the servant leaders who carry out our missions of aerospace education, the cadet program, and a vast array of emergency services. We do these things together every day, and you make an extraordinary impact on people and communities. If you're like me, you probably have received many of what I like to call volunteer paychecks during your time in CAP. So what's a volunteer paycheck? It's the fulfillment we feel when a cadet succeeds, or when we inspire a classroom of future scientists, pilots, and leaders with an aerospace lesson. It's the feeling you get from giving people hope, sustenance, or other life-saving relief after a natural disaster. Volunteers give time and treasure to serve. I value the time you give to your communities and to each other through Civil Air Patrol. You deserve streamlined processes so that your time is well spent as you serve. I want you to have an amazing CAP experience. I'll be working with the Command Council and the staff to identify ways to streamline and evolve processes across CAP to ensure your experience is the best it can be. When you receive that volunteer paycheck, the gift you give of your time and effort is being returned with interest. Together, we can make the member experience even better. Volunteers give because they want to make a difference. You make that difference in locations across the country. CAP's reach is tremendous. We serve from Puerto Rico to Alaska, from Maine to Hawaii, and even several locations overseas. Let's look at how we serve America's communities, waypoint number 2 on this journey. We serve urban and rural areas in all 50 states, the National Capital Region, Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, and even overseas on military installations in Guam, Japan, South Korea, Belgium, Germany, and England. But as you can see, there are a number of gaps. In some places in the United States, the nearest CAP unit is hundreds of miles away. We can capitalize on the strategic partnerships began under General Smith's leadership to expand our reach, to benefit more communities. We have some great success stories like the Spirit of Tuskegee Cadet Squadron, New York 332, and the Detroit 100th Composite Squadron in Michigan Wing. Both are urban units consisting of diverse cadets and adult leaders, overcoming challenging local circumstances to succeed and thrive in Civil Air Patrol. I plan to work with wing commanders to share best practices on how to create successful units in both urban and rural areas of the United States. Diversity remains a national priority, and we have an opportunity to enhance diversity among our membership by serving more communities across the country. We should be partnering with additional homeschool centers, Native American tribal nations, and community leaders in both urban and rural areas to be of better service to more of America's diverse cities and towns. 2 years ago, no one envisioned the weekly CAP meeting taking place virtually. During the COVID-19 crisis, we proved that we could accomplish the majority of program objectives while meeting online. I'd like to explore this even more for rural communities that are hundreds of miles from the nearest CAP squadron. Technology may be the key that bridges the gaps that currently exist on our map of America's communities served by Civil Air Patrol. Working together while utilizing innovation and technology, we have overcome many of the challenges of COVID-19. When I envision our future, I see us harnessing technology and innovation to continue evolving our missions and retain relevancy well into the future. One example that is soon to be released is Cadet Interactive, which will use technology to improve how our cadet members learn and advance through the program. I'm also thinking of examples like grassroots innovation initiated by CAP volunteers that revolutionized search and rescue in the United States. Cell phone forensics technology and the National Radar Analysis Team were initiated by CAP volunteers. Not only do their skills make a huge difference, but they're also directly responsible for saving hundreds of lives. There are many more examples of new and emerging technologies. Our small unmanned aerial systems fleet is growing and expanding in mission capability. And then there's ReadyOp, which will allow mission personnel to connect our radio system via smart devices and replace many legacy repeaters by 2024. How about advanced technology aerial imagery systems that collect high-resolution imagery from multiple angles, allowing us to create 2D and 3D mosaic pictures that can be imported into professional analysis tools? We can then apply artificial intelligence algorithms, giving emergency managers automated remote damage assessments after disasters. This minimizes the number of boots on the ground and expedites federal assistance to disaster survivors. What an impressive use of technology in disaster relief. Every day, our innovation portal Hubcap is receiving new ideas that are being evaluated by a pit crew of CAP volunteers to see what next month's or next year's game changer will be. I'm excited to see which one of you will come up with our next idea that makes it easier to be a CAP volunteer, or even the next invention that revolutionizes what Civil Air Patrol can do. I challenge the innovators in the audience to use this grassroots system, this program, to help shape the future of Civil Air Patrol. Want to learn more? Visit gocivilairpatrol.com/innovation to see how to contribute your idea. One thing is for sure, though, we can't innovate or even accomplish any of our missions without people. We as an organization are in the people business. Many of our missions allow us to shape futures. We shape futures through aerospace education when we encourage young people to pursue STEM, aerospace, and cyber careers by presenting lessons in classrooms and providing materials for teachers. We do this through education and training for our adult volunteers and through our cadet program. Our programs build leaders. I'm proud to say that my career has been and continues to be shaped by my experience in Civil Air Patrol. Colonel A, who will be my co-pilot, joins me in crediting Civil Air Patrol's cadet program for building the foundation of her leadership growth. You can look far beyond the two of us, though, because we're just two examples of many. Shaping futures is the third waypoint on our journey. CAP's success stories are numerous. From SPOT's recipient and Space Shuttle astronaut Colonel Eric Bowe, originally of the Georgia Wing, to Major Sion Proctor of Sky Harbor Composite Squadron in Arizona, who is poised to become CAP's newest astronaut in September, when she will be the mission pilot on the privately funded Inspiration 4 flight aboard a SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule at Kennedy Space Center. I was inspired by a recent feature article that highlighted several former cadets who had an amazing experience and are now giving back by contributing significantly to CAP as adult leaders. People like Major Clara Alcott, who credits her CAP mentors for inspiring in her a desire to pay it forward. Major Alcott balanced work, EMT training, and studying for her private pilot certificate, all while serving as the youngest squadron commander in the Arizona Wing. She even found time to be one of the leaders in Operation Pulse Lift, an ongoing blood drive where CAP and the American Red Cross have partnered together in all 52 wings to inspire the donation of life-saving blood during challenging times. CAP mentors lit a fire for Major Alcott, and the result is her giving back to CAP and serving as a mentor herself. Like many of our current and former cadets, she has a very bright future in CAP. Now ask yourself, which cadet or senior member you are working with will be a future squadron commander, corporate executive, national commander, or astronaut? I firmly believe that one of our most important jobs as servant leaders in the Civil Air Patrol is to create opportunities for others to succeed. You don't have to have the title of commander to do this either. Your actions, the stories you relate, or the experiences you create right now are having a significant impact on the lives of those around you. One thing about a volunteer paycheck, though, you may not know about this impact until much later. So make every interaction count. I know you'll agree with me when I say Civil Air Patrol saves lives. Saving lives is waypoint number 4 on our journey into the future. We save lives through our emergency services and, increasingly, our disaster relief missions. Whether you search for missing people, gather imagery for analysis, hone your urban direction finding skills, operate a small UAS, or specialize in communications, finance, or administration on missions, you train so that you're prepared for when the call comes. Professional volunteers must be ready for that call. Think of all the ways that we save lives. I think of the heroes in our ranks, like Cadet Nathaniel Justin Oakes of the Georgia Wing, who earned the Silver Medal of Valor when he worked together with another cadet and rescued a disoriented motorist who had accidentally driven his SUV into a pond. Or Lieutenant Johnny Click, who also earned the Silver Medal of Valor when he quickly reacted to a fire that broke out on a travel trailer at a gasoline station. Lieutenant Click removed propane tanks from the burning trailer and worked to extinguish the growing fire as emergency responders were called. Wow. Of course, you don't have to earn a Medal for Valor to be considered a hero in my eyes. We have hundreds more heroes among us. What about all our members who've earned the Certificate of Recognition for Life-Saving? Do you know someone who quietly stepped up in a moment of need and saved a life with their training? I've met countless members like this. What about the heroes who give hope, sustenance, and shelter to those who survive a natural disaster? These folks are even more numerous. And what about the thousands of members who've given blood as part of Operation Pulse Lift? All of you are heroes in my book. The work our members do to ease suffering is life-saving work. Perhaps you're employing the latest technology from the air to speed resources to where they're needed, or working at a point of distribution, handing out critical supplies directly to those in need. Finally, let's not forget about all of our teachers, cadet leaders, and mentors who help our young people stay on the right path in life. I'm sure you've heard stories where our members have helped save the lives of our youth by keeping them off drugs and focused on what they need to do to prepare for their bright futures. Our programs provide the core values that form a solid foundation to save lives by shaping futures. So what do we get if we put all these things together? Think about the words I used to describe the essence of who we are: volunteers, service, our communities, shaping futures, saving lives. I'm pleased to share that these words, these powerful, elegant, simple words, make up our new combined mission and vision statement: volunteers serving America's communities, saving lives and shaping futures. The group that crafted this statement came from across Civil Air Patrol and spent significant time to distill our efforts into the essence of who we are. The result was this simple but powerful 9-word statement, which will guide our work together. In addition to the new mission vision statement, we have 3 overarching goals that are part of our strategic plan. Those goals can be summarized in 3 words: prepare, shape, and innovate. You heard those terms quite a bit today, and you'll see how they fit perfectly together. So that's our flight plan for the journey we'll begin later this month. The new combined mission vision statement is the perfect launching point for envisioning the future of CAP. You will hear more about these 3 goals I mentioned as we partner with the Board of Governors and CAP senior leaders on strategic planning. We will fill in more details on the waypoints for our journey during this process, so stay tuned. Once we have that strategic plan finalized, we will brief you, the crew, so that we can synchronize our efforts to make it a reality. So our run-up is complete, and we've got our takeoff clearance. I ask you to join me on this journey as Civil Air Patrol climbs to new heights. Work together with me as we serve America's communities, saving lives and shaping futures. You inspire me, and you inspire our nation. I am honored to serve together with you in the Civil Air Patrol.